Okay, folks, where I live, there's a huge intersection within a short walk from where I live, and I find a lot of materials for my demos. There's a lot of car crashes and shit like that going down at this intersection, so there's a lot of debris lying around. And what I've got is a piece of that debris. I didn't actually vandalise a car. I found this at the intersection attached to the front grille that obviously came off during a car crash or a collision, and I'm basically going to utilise that in this piece of work. And a lot of people like to apparently vandalise cars or souvenir parts of cars, but this is not what this is. I found this at the intersection. It was on the road anyway. It could have caused problems if it was left on the road. I think it was on the road, or was it on the median strip, or where the intersection is? But basically, it came off a collision. Probably a nasty one. It looked like a nasty one. Anyway, enough of that. Let's just go past the preamble, and this is it. I pulled it off, this piece of grill, and it's a badge, an automotive badge. And a lot of people in the past like to steal badges off cars, but this, as I said, this was off a piece of crash debris, and I just thought I'd souvenir it and use it as a demo. I know a lot of people love Ford, and there's a lot of competition between Ford and Holden lovers in the racing of cars. Even though it's sad though that I'm not an automotive person, but basically they stopped manufacturing both Ford and Holden in Australia. So there's no more Australian-made Fords and Holdens anymore, which is really sad. But, unfortunately, that's how things have gone. And I think I've put it on the wrong setting, and that looks shit house. I don't know why it's so dark. I don't know what I did to make it so fucking dark. I had it on light. Unless it's because it's... Oh, whatever, folks. This is the light setting. I do think I might have to go and do more, lighten it off a bit more. Maybe it's just it's still a bit too flat, dark. Just try that again. I don't know how that's going to look. But yeah, Ford and Holden fans, indeed. And that's come up looking really quite interesting, actually. It looks a bit wishy-washy because I lightened it heaps, but I do like the way the word Ford is still discernible. I'm going to try another one. I'm going to darken it a bit. But yeah, it's like that in this world. A lot of people really follow manufacturers of different things. Like you got your Apple fanboys and fangirls. You've got your Samsung fanboys, Android fanboys and fangirls and shit like that. And it's become a real, it's a real tribalism involved of the different companies and the different football teams. And even the photocopier industry has its fans, even though it shouldn't be like that. We should have people who are into photocopiers running the whole industry from start to finish. Unfortunately, that isn't the case. Most thing I find annoying about fangirl and fanboyism is that you have no power over the industry that you're following. You have no power to change the way the business is, or to change the design of things. It's up to them. They're the ones that are in power. They're the ones that have the say. You're just a fucking follower. And there's heaps of you followers. There's not enough people. Yeah, that's come up looking quite nice, actually. I think we can utilise that. And yeah, there's more fans than there are trailblazers, and that's the thing I find quite particularly annoying about. I'm basically at what's known as a toner head. I am a photocopier nerd, and Unfortunately, I don't have power over the industry at this stage. I can't change it. I can't make alterations to the industry or to the design of equipment. I see a lot of faults in these machines, and a lot of fanboys and fangirls out there can see faults in the equipment that they are so fucking ardently passionate about. But the sad fact of the matter is there's nothing you can do, because it's up to them, the people who've got the jobs, who've got the work, who are working in the industry. They're the ones that have got the power, especially the CEO, who has the last say in everything. And basically, if he wants to fuck up the design of things, well, he fucks it up and that's it. It doesn't matter. It's his prerogative. It's what he wants, or she, especially, usually he. Although Xerox did have a female CEO, her name was Ursula Burns, but basically most of these CEOs are blokes. But basically, yeah, I enlarged that accidentally. That looks really quite interesting. But basically, most of these CEOs are blokes, and most of them don't care about the design of things. They don't care about the quality, because they're not interested. You know, I'm sure an Apple fan could make a better Apple phone or iPhone better than a fucking dum-dum like Tim Cook. He's the CEO who succeeded after Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs was a much better character than fucking dum-dum Tim Cook. And Tim Cook's just an asshole. He just cares about the money, and that's the industry now. That's the way the industry flows. The industry's all about money, and that's the guiding light for those people who happen to have the privilege, and it is a fucking privilege, to be the head honcho of a huge multinational, and to have lots of people who are your fans, and you don't treat, and Tim Cook does not treat his fans properly. He treats them like they just deserve to be run over by like a racetrack. You know, he knows that he's got a fan base, but he doesn't seem to care about their happiness, or because he just wants to make money, and he just takes advantage of these fans. And there's so many YouTube videos about unboxing of product from Apple, and the photocopier industry is full of fanboys and fangirls, with which I used to be one, not anymore. I don't follow like that anymore. I'm not interested in being run over like a racetrack by the man behind this company, for example, Shai Yamana. Fuck you, Shai, you're an asshole. I don't care what you think of me, and that's it. I don't care anymore what these people in the industry think, because I really hate the way these equipments have been designed with money in mind over function, and I can see it and I can feel it, and it's really ugly, and it's plasticky and shitty, and the hardware only typically is meant to be replaced after 5 years, and I see that the equipment should last 60 years, not 5 years. And basically we need to hire people who are into the photocopier game, who really take it seriously, and these people are known as toner heads. And another thing to note about toner heads is they often I've met technicians who say they have toner in the blood, the ink, the powder that's in the photocopier. They say it runs in their blood. It's in their blood, toner in the blood. And that's another catchphrase from photocopier fans, or people who love photocopiers, and it's in their blood, and it's in my blood. So I'm not going to let these bitches in the industry forever run me over like a racetrack, because basically I'm going to run them over like a racetrack. I will. I'm determined, because I want to do the right thing by the human race and the environment. I want to make these machines last 60 years, the hardware, and that the software is what we focus on upgrading, not the hardware, the software. Better for the planet, better for the customer, end user, to have more money in their pocket, instead of having to shell out for a new fucking piece of hardware that's shit. This is all legacy software with just a few little tweaks here and there, and fuck, it's a pain in the ass. And yeah, and basically, yeah, I want to make these machines last like 60 years. You just upgrade small parts of the hardware and then upgrade the software. Make the software customizable, that the customer pays only for the features needed, and not having to pay for what's on there. Of course, you might keep the enlargement and reduction as standard, but basically all those image editing functions can be optionals and sold as software patches of some Descript at a cheap price. And if you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't. You just use what you've got, and you got to use artificial intelligence to help control the high-end features. There's a lot of improvements, folks. Too many I can say here, but this has come up looking quite interesting. I think we now call this demo quits.